And we're live. What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday. Happy SwagHer Sisterhood Sunday. That is, this is your girl, Maryland Monroe, and I am one third of a podcast called Culture Klub Conversations. It's on all social media platforms, but today I am SwagHer Sister in charge. I am super excited, as always, for this next spotlight. She has been my real REEL friend for a long time. But today is the first day her and I are face to face. And this is super exciting because she is a major talent. She is multiply talented. She plays instruments and guitar specifically. She sings, she writes, she does a lot of collaboration. She's super creative. And I'm sure she does so many other things, but she is amazing. And that is Shorn Marshall.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome, Shorn.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
Absolutely, SwagHer wanted to have you, and it's imperative for us to have these spotlights to celebrate publicly super amazing women, whether they're in the spotlight already or they're unsung. And you're already in the spotlight, but we wanted to continue to celebrate you and talk about a lot of things and all things Shorn. My first core question is, what is sisterhood to you?
Um, Sisterhood to me. Okay, I'm gonna go back in time and how I learned about this. When I was in college, I was in a sorority, and during the pledging, we talking about sisterhood, what really sisterhood is about, and what is how to create that bond once we get initiated. I applied that lesson from that
Mm.
into the music industry, which is very male dominant. And due to the fact that as women, we feel like we're not being respected or taken serious in this industry. So I took that lesson that I learned from sisterhood, apply into the music business, which created a platform for me and three of my other partners, what we call Fret Sisters, to showcase a lot of women in music. And many the industry thinks that every woman needs to be competing against another woman,
Mm-hmm.
which is technically should not be. Like, we all have in common, and that is music, and to share our story. We just share our story in a different way. And I learned that we had to encourage one another,
Mm-hmm.
pray for one another, and be able to help one another in any case to get to the goals that we need, even if, you know, it's about building a relationship.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
in my terms of sisterhood is just to we just look out for our own.
Yeah. I agree. I love that. Sorority, yes. I started in a sorority as well, and then realized, didn't want to continue. However, but that sisterhood establishment and idea of, bond, that is important.
Mhm.
Do you have any siblings? A sister?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a sister. We're a year apart. So she kind of like we grew up as kids, even though we had a different fathers. But
Okay.
my father took her in, even though she was not his biological child. And so I think he did that because I really need a sister to be keeping me company or kind of
Hmm.
like help build that bond growing up as kids. And
Yeah.
now both of us now have children. It kind of got us a little closer a little bit because we
Yeah.
both have kids. Um, but it's still work in progress on that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk, since you mentioned like the background of everything, like family, let's talk about the journey of Sean and how you fell in love or how you were introduced first to music and your talents.
Mhm. Well, I was originally born in Chester, Pennsylvania. It was kind of like about 20, 25 minutes from Philly. And my childhood wasn't really that good. I was like bullied most of my life. And 14 was the climax. It was like going spiral downhill. I was going through depression, and the bullying got worse. And it was in 2000. That's when it really started. And my grandmother died that year, and the bullying got worse. And I was going to kill myself. And due to the fact that with the bullying, I wasn't safe at school, and I wasn't safe at a home that I thought it was supposed to be my home.
Mm.
And it was very tragic. But after I moved, I had a dream. My grandmother spoke to me in my dream. Her and God was speaking to me in my dream, saying that I need to sing again.
God.
Because every time you sing, everything negative around you disappeared. And that's really how music kind of saved my life. Because if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be alive today. And I owe my life, my entire life, to music, because I think it's what God wanted me to do. Music was to share my story, because I never know if someone that's listening needs to hear it. Because it's like my personal testimony that I need to share with somebody that needs that encouragement.
Yes, I agree. Wow. That is a really good, information on your journey and how you were introduced to music and how important it is to you and it being your foundation even. So with your journey and how you introed into music, and you said it was like at 14, um, what was the turning point that in it after you realized, okay, this is what I should do? What did you start first? Did you start writing, or did you start playing or singing? Because you're
It was
multi-talented.
singing. I started when I was 3.
Okay.
Usually the music runs into the family, mostly my
Okay.
dad and my grandfather and my mom's side and my aunt. Um, but I started singing as I was like 3. And the first time I heard the song, I was in a car. It was at night. And you usually hear like the Quiet Storm on the radio. And Tina Marie came on.
Ooh.
And her song, If I Was on the Bell, was on the radio. That was the first song I started singing when I was that age.
Wow. So you started singing first.
Yes.
What came next?
I did piano when I was 6 and I didn't like it. And then I was playing drums at church at 9. Then I was in the drum line in high school. And I didn't pick up the guitar like really like late. So it was like 18 going 19. I was like my freshman year in college.
Yeah.
And that one semester I took lessons. And after that semester, I taught myself ever since. And during the pandemic, I started picking up bass because I was picking up random bass lines, and that got me more producing more, even though I do produce my own music. It gave me more expansion creatively.
Yeah. So, what would you describe your music style and message as? If you could
Uh,
describe it.
I usually don't put it in a box. It just depends on what I hear or what I vision. Sometimes I get the creativity through my dreams or in the shower. So it's a very random times that I get them.
Yeah.
But I've always fallen in love with hip hop. I've been fell in love with hip hop since in the womb, since my dad been playing Kumo D. That's his
Yes.
favorite rapper back in the day. And so I fell in love with hip hop, and then I just like soul. So I was like, okay, I'm a big influence of Mary J. Blige. She's
Mhm.
more the queen of hip hop soul. I was like, it's kind of hard to fill in her shoes. but
Yes.
but I really like to put my style and fuse it with other type of music, whether different sounds, where it's a different beats and different genres or something like that, and just put my feeling into it. So I really don't really have a box.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love your music because it's not just, you know, just the R&B. It's very, or hip hop. It's very soulful.
Yeah.
It's very soulful, neo soul. I would say it really is layered, actually, because I've listened to a few of your songs, and it's very layered because, and I like it because you expressed it exactly on point. It's not in a box. It's not just one. Like when you click on a song, it's not like, you know how some artists, you're like, it's the same cadence, it's the same, like, you know it. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a, I'm not gonna say an artist, but that's a song.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
songs, it's very layered. It's very like, it definitely can go with a mood. You could play it straight through. What is your description of your experience in writing song and storytelling? Like, if you could even give me a song and or quote the lyrics of a specific song that you were telling a real life story.
Um, I might pick a song from my first album, Reinvention.
Okay.
And one of the songs was talking about self-esteem,
Mm.
and it was called Inner Self. I had a dream, and I was getting up in the morning and I was looking in the mirror. The reflection from the mirror of me was speaking to me.
Mhm.
It was telling me what my inner self is, because I was going through a lot, especially with low self-esteem all years of my life, and still work in progress with that.
Yeah.
Um, when she was telling me, it was saying that you are beautiful, you are powerful. So that type of motivation, put that into a song about what I was going through with my self-esteem. Maybe somebody I know might be going through the same thing.
Yes.
So that was one of the songs really about my life, really, since Reinvention was really about I'm reinventing myself. I was taking the mask off. I was stripping everything off because I was going through what people should look at me as. And I was still trying to find who Shorn really is.
Yeah.
So I was like, strip off everything. No wigs, no nothing. Just
Mm.
your natural self. Take this mask off and introduce the world who Shorn really is.
Yeah.
So everything I was going through behind that story was I was going through some closures in my life.
Mm.
I was going through, I would say, I was ending up close to giving up love. And then the song You, the single from that album,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was kind of like it was like a love story with me, and it was technically was about myself and my ex when we was been together for 7 years.
Yes.
And I was ending up giving up love. I was about to build a wall up
Yeah.
and like don't fall in love, just focus on your kids, your career, and I don't want to be a CCL like a crazy cat lady or something. I'd rather be a bunny lady because yes, I am a bunny lover. Um, I just might as well just deal with that and buy a bunny and just like forget it. I
Love
ain't
it.
got time for that.
Uh-huh.
So when I was with my ex, he gave me a reason to seek love again, give me another try with love. And so it's like my way of like, you shouldn't give up love completely because you never know. Someone will definitely come and break those walls down.
Yes.
So I didn't really. So now I'm single, thank the Lord, in the waiting period. And what I learned about that, now I'm in a waiting period.
Yeah.
It was God wanted me to do a self-alignment check,
Mm.
that I need to be aligned with myself and aligned with the love of God. So until I get right with myself,
Yes.
it's going to be a while for someone to have access to me.
Yes. I agree.
So that's really what I am right now. It's just going through going through this waiting period, this waiting season.
So you've mentioned Mary J being like one of your top, if not number one spot, right? You are a songwriter, singer, musician, of course. And your trials, we all know, the culture knows, when Mary's going through turmoil, those records are amazing. Those
Yes.
songs are absolutely like anthems, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have an anthem song?
It's hard to find my songs as anthems. I wasn't even think of making them as anthems.
Okay.
I wasn't even thinking those would be anthems, but I think one of my singles that I have, like I would say, self-destruct, kind of like I'm just taking everything that's negative in my life and putting in a box, imaginary box with a bomb on it, and blow it up. A lot of people wants to do some cleaning. That's
Right.
a whole mental cleaning. Whether
Right.
you need to cut down your social circle a little bit. Not everybody can go with you. That's why I
right.
did the song "Not No Time" on my album. Because it's like I need to get rid of my social circle. You have to stay small as much as possible.
Yeah.
And also work it. Work It was definitely, it was kind of like, I think it was kind of like an anthem that everybody wanted to go out and have a good time, and whatever you got, you need to strut down those streets like ain't nothing.
That's right.
So that, I think that song was really considered as an anthem. But once I get some new music, which I will have 2 EPs coming out this year, the anthems might change.
Okay. So you're in like a solace period right now. And again, we just to continue to piggyback off of MJB, are you currently writing during this period?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm still writing. Even the writing going through this process turns out to be a book.
Okay.
I wasn't even thinking about my whole journey as an emotional eater. I'm in the recovery of that.
Okay.
And also my weight loss journey, which I made my goal.
Amen.
I was
Congratulations.
210 pounds. Now I am now 155. And I was just writing my journal, write my thoughts and everything that I've been going through throughout this whole entire journey. How
Yeah.
I'm dealing with this, balancing all these everyday things like being a mom and dealing with your career
Yes.
and stuff like that. How to balance that and dealing with your mental health. So I was just writing my thoughts, like I write in my diary, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like another voice in my head saying, "Why don't you just share your story and
Yeah.
turn it into a book?" Because a lot of people been asking me, how do you keep yourself motivated? How do you have that mindset, especially when you're trying to lose weight?
Yeah.
What do you do? How'd you do it? How do you overcome all these storms that I've been having? I had a non-stop turmoil storm that never ended. It was like storm after storm after storm after storm.
Mm.
So I decided to make it as a book and call it Losing for a Better Me.
I like that.
Yes. So
Has it
I was not
has it ever
expecting to make that as a book at all.
That's a blessing. That's like a bonus, right? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of times we start things and we don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
And that's like that organic, because you're being creative. I'm not as creative as you, because you are like, you self-taught instruments, like that's just, but a lot of times when people are so creative, they have so much going on that by mistake they just make a book.
Yep.
That's just so creative. Like, oh, it was a mistake, but I wrote a book in 2 songs,
Yeah.
in an album. So that's the creative part of you, and that's the part that makes you so unique and so who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great thing. What are the challenges that you face or have faced when coming into media with your music, trying to get the media to listen to your music, to get you some, what they call it, shows and gigs and things like that? Like, what challenges have you faced? Or tell me a story of a challenging time.
Social media. That's 2 words I'm gonna say. That's like the hardest thing. I was scared at first releasing music to the world because I don't know if they're gonna like it or not. Big shout out to Keon K Quit from Beats Sparse and Faith that took me under his wing. And
Yes.
because before that, when we met, I was that close to giving up singing because I didn't like the sound of my voice. It sounded like a little kid. I was like, I can just still create music and do that. I just don't want to sing.
Yeah.
But he said, oh, hell no, you're not wasting that. So I was like, all right, I've given another try. And then all of a sudden, it just, like, I've started to enjoy singing again. Not only singing, I had different vibes. Sometimes I end up rapping. So
Yeah.
so it's just like it depends on what the vibe is. But social media was hard because I was afraid of, these people being judged.
Yes.
And due to the fact that I usually don't get opportunities unless I saw someone on Facebook that's like, oh, they need a guitarist here and there, or a singer, or someone to collab with, and I just try to respond in DMs and stuff like that. But it's very hard to market through social media and not getting the numbers that it is, which I'm not worrying about the numbers.
That's
I'm not
right.
worrying about the number of followings, because I think the people that has a lot of following, I believe I don't know what they did to do it. I don't know how they did it.
You know what they did.
They might do something that they ain't supposed to be doing that leading to that.
I know. Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking the people that has a few amount minimum of following, they are the ones that should be looked out of, because those are the people that you shouldn't fall asleep on, because they are not only underrated, but they are, highly gifted.
Yes.
So I think I said something in a cipher. Is don't fall asleep on the gifted that only wants a chance, because you never know, we are the last one standing.
Mm-hmm.
And you might need us for that one last stand.
I agree.
So that's why I was like, I'm not worrying about the numbers. I ain't worrying about the following numbers and stuff like that, because that's what everybody's looking for, is how many views they got, how many likes they got, how many following they have. Same thing when you're looking at how many streams you have in your music.
Yeah.
And if you push it, no matter how hard or no matter what techniques that you use to push it out, especially you spending money on, promotion, making videos and everything that you work hard on, and come out and then came out that, oh, it's not pushing enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is one of the obstacles that I'm still working on.
Yeah.
Is like with the whole social media, because sometimes things are changed, their techniques changes, and I got to figure out how to keep changing and catch up.
Yes. So the process, the development, the growth, the awakening,
Mhm.
you then have time with yourself throughout all
Mhm.
of that.
Mhm.
Because that's the only place you can't run from is yourself, right?
Mhm.
So in that, have you ever sat and or had a thought of self-doubt?
Yes, I did. I really did. I felt like all this work I put in and not getting the hype, the appreciation, or the opportunities. I had many doubts. Many artists go through that. Many
Yeah.
people have self-doubt, so sometimes have second thoughts of releasing something that they just released and trying to take it back, but you can't take it back.
Right.
So, but I really did have some self-doubts. But all I had to do is keep on listening to what called me. My music is my calling.
Yes, it is.
And I'm not done until God said he says done.
Amen.
So I'm just going to keep on doing my calling. And I all I just need is just that one person. If it's more than that, that's a bonus. But I
Yeah,
need, as long as I have it, that one specific person that understands the story behind the music, and then they can just share it with their
yeah,
friends and
yeah.
their friends and their friends.
That's right.
That's all I worry about.
That's right. I love it. I love the fact that you're so transparent, very transparent and willing to share and speak on it and just, put it behind your back to say, you know what, that's the past. However, I adjust the past because this is what I grew from. Sometimes you shouldn't look behind you or in the past to develop you. You should look back and say how I've developed and how
Mm-hmm.
proud you are. And it's always quality over quantity for sure when it comes to this industry of media, social media. So yeah, I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah,
If you could,
you have to fall so many times to get back up. Like
absolutely,
if people that don't fall, how you know what's getting up is like.
that's right, that's right. So if you could look at back at your younger self, now that you're right here, 2026, you could look back at your younger self and have a conversation with her.
Mhm.
What would that conversation be?
I would say, girl, you should have started your music thing years ago. Because
Like,
I started late.
mhm,
I started releasing music late. I think was when I realized I wanted to do music full time. I think I did it when my daughter was born. I think she was like about 1 or 2 years old, and that's when I realized that I need to do music full time.
yeah,
I should have started way before my son was born, because that will give me some more lessons on how to build my brand.
okay,
And I'm still working through that. It was like all this extra stuff that I learned. Big shout out to Nicole Buss. She had a mentor boot camp, and I was one of her students. And there was some things that was missing in the marketing thing that I didn't know I needed to do,
yeah,
but I did that part of it, and it got me further than I should have.
yeah,
So I was like, all this different plans. You got the strategy, which is short. I got marketing plan. I feel like I'm in college again. Feel like I'm doing the term paper with slides. I'm.
yes,
It was team too much. I'm like, hey, no wonder I need a manager. I don't have to deal with all this, because it
yes,
really does. Like when you do anything, you got to understand the business of it, and the business will jeopardize everything else. Like it will jeopardize over your creativity, and
that's right.
that's really like kind of like many artists get stressed out and burned out because of the business aspect of it.
Yes.
So they just like worrying about the numbers and how many streams it is, and or you have to be your own boss, executive thing, and you won't be able to have time to be creative because you have to figure out all that business stuff.
Yep. Agreed. Agreed. So, SwagHer is a magazine, a national magazine. It's for the intentional Black woman who likes to keep it real. That's the tagline, right?
Yep.
So, we are big with the word intention. Intention is like everything, right? So,
Yes.
what is your intentional impact with your music, with your being? What is your intentional impact?
Um, I think I would keep everything that I experience and put it into my music. That's really like the true self that I'm going to give to you, because
Yeah.
many like fans and stuff, they want to see and want to hear the real artists, not all the gimmicks and AI, which is
Right.
now this generation is nothing but laziness.
Yes.
Um, but they need to hear and see the real person as express their words in their songs,
Mm-hmm.
not wearing that mask all the time just to pretend when you're outdoor, but behind closed doors, you got to take that mask off.
Yeah.
So nobody don't want to see a person that is hiding. And I think that's why I usually keep a heart on my sleeve
Yeah.
sometimes and being very vulnerable, because I've been working hard trying, when you were a kid and you've been in school, you try so hard to impress people just to fit in.
Yes.
That is one of my problems.
Hmm.
I realized during my little time myself, yes, being a people pleaser, and that's a boundary that I keep overstepping my own boundaries of,
Yeah.
and not worrying about what other people think, and worry about what you think and what you feel. That's for your if you feel happy and enjoy whatever you're doing, do
Mhm.
that. Don't do that for nobody else.
That's
This is
right.
supposed to be it is supposed to be for your joy and your mentality and your insanity. And that's what I'm focusing on right there.
Amen. Amen. And that's your intention. Amen.
Yes.
So we're almost about to wrap up. So we look ahead from today and on. Right now you have a single out, Not That Tight, and it's featured Leticia Soul.
Leticia Soul, big shout out to her.
So
Like, we've been wanting to do a collaboration for a very long time since she joined Beats, Bars, and Faith. So it's
yes,
kind of like me being the first lady of the team. It was my way of welcoming her with open arms, and helping her out, and helping each other out, really.
yeah,
And we've been wanting to do something together for a long time, and finally we got that chance to do that. And I just like, and she saw me building this song from ground up. when
mhm.
i when I first created this song, it was just a guitar sample,
Okay.
and she's like, oh, I like this, and I just kept it very simple.
Mhm.
And she saw me building it up from scratch from that. And then we both came up with the hook. And then once we did that, I started arranging it. And then we took it from there.
It's awesome. So what else? What can we expect in the future for your music, your book? Is there any date? Has it dropped yet? Is it any date that you plan?
It's not, I just finished the book, but
Okay.
I was still working on the audio book. But I'm probably going to release the audio book in a later time. But the ebook is completely done. I'm just doing some final works on that one. And then I will release that on social media and let you know when you're going to get it.
Okay.
The two EPs that I am going to be releasing this year. The first one I'm definitely going to be releasing is called the X Files.
I
Okay.
like.
It's about my way saying goodbye to the past.
Mm,
Like, when you become an adult, you get rid of childish things.
that's
That's
right.
what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. because I'm it was some things I've been through in my past relationships. There was some good, but there was some bad. And this is also my way just burn off the past. I just put a light on fire and just move on. And that's what I was like. I just take the lessons that I learned, the good times and the lessons, all the bad, the pain, the lies, the hurt. I'm just burning it up, and I just want to move on.
That's right.
That's what I call that the X files for that. The second one is revenge girl era, which I am in the revenge era because of my weight loss.
That's right.
So it's like I got the revenge bod. I get to do songs that I always wanted to do, but I held back because of my weight, and I was so self-conscious with myself.
Yeah.
So Not That Type was giving you a little taste, because I was like, now I'm single, my body is right.
I hear that song, girl.
And glowing. It gave me Ari Lennox vibes, and I just like dancing and being sexy. I'm enjoying stuff being sexy again. So Not That Type giving you that taste of that.
Yes. Yeah, I think if you're tuned in, thank you so much. I have Denise, Penelope, and Miss Strong. That is my lady right there. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you follow, and let's talk about showing how they can follow you on social media and listen to this sexy song of Not That Type, and all your other songs. Let them know where to find you.
You can find me on Instagram and YouTube is at Shorn Music Official. Also TikTok is a Shorn Music. Facebook, Shorn Marshall, is actually my personal page. I still taking friend requests. And you can hear all my songs on all platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, almost everywhere that you can stream music. Even YouTube have all my album reinvention. My 3 singles that I have was Self-Destruct, Late Night Delight, Work It, and then also Not That Type.
Yes. Shout out to K Quick. Let's just give him a straight shout out. Beats, bars, and faith. Shout out to that's my brother. And I know that's one of your best friends. So shout out to him. And
he's like my younger brother. He's like my younger brother.
Okay. Yeah, he is so amazing, and he is a great spirit. He is definitely trying to get me to come back to hip hop and rap. So he's been doing that for years, but I'm glad he got you to not stop singing.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna probably say you better not stop rapping, and all of a sudden then he's gonna ask me to make you a beat, and I can do that.
Yes, he is all over it. But shout out to him. Like he's amazing, great spirit, great and very talented. So
yes,
but with that said, yes. With that said, any shout outs to anyone that you want to shout out, say hello to, thank you. It's your time.
Definitely big shout out to the whole team, Beats, Bars, and Faith, for believing in me and giving me that chance to share my story and using that platform to open doors for me for that. Also, thank you to God, really, for giving me the talent to use the gifts that He given me to do it and continue on with the calling. And definitely my best friend Nicole, she's been my number one fan. We've been friends since high school for over 20 something years. And especially most of my family, my children were definitely my inspiration and my motivation to keep going. Like, even though, being a single mom and you raising 2 kids, it is a struggle. And that as parents, we don't give ourselves any credit. And now I'm taking the time to take in credit because I did whatever I can with them, and they are like my big motivations, and they push me through different levels. Even my family, like, even though sometimes they have their ways, they make me push harder.
That's right.
They push me to a level that they don't think that I was going to do, but I'm keep on pushing.
That's it. That's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stay stuck.
Yep.
So with that said, we are wrapping up today's Sisterhood Spotlight with the artist,
Mhm.
Mrs. Shorn Marshall. She is super amazing, dope. Make sure you guys check her out on all social media platforms and listen to her song, which I love, Not My Type. And once you hear it, you'll be like, oh yeah. It's very sexy, by the way. So with that
Yes.
said, everyone enjoy your Sunday. Always remember that God loves you and I do too. Have a good day. Thank you,
Thank
Sean.
you.